welcome back to another episode here in the Deadlands. So today we are going to be building our bulk storage system, and I've got a lot to do. I got a lot of materials to collect, and I am running out of shulker shells. You know, I'm flying around, and I don't... Where's the Enderman? They're just not here. Alright, so I've got all the shulker shells that I think I'll need, but I've also noticed I don't have a beacon. I've got the one that's over there at spawn. Can't see it from here, but I don't have an extra one. So I think what we're gonna do is head over to the Nether and get some wither skulls. Alright, I've got my beacon all set up. I found some stone out here in the wild, and yeah, I guess it's time to get to work. So I heavily underestimated the size of this project. Like, we have used up so much stone and cobblestone and wood and it's just so much. But the only thing I have left now are the hoppers, and I need 72 stacks of hoppers, and the only thing holding me back is the iron. I just don't have enough iron. I think I need 39 stacks of iron block, and that means I still need about 17 stacks. And the little iron farm that I've got is just a little too slow, so I might end up going out into the world and just, I don't know, collecting the rest, mining out some mountains and stuff. But one of the other last things I have are the item frames that I need. So I've been farming up some of these cows, and it sounds like I don't hear any baby cows in there. So I think this is ready. Well, it took a few days, but I finally have enough iron here. This is, oh man, 40 stacks of iron block, and we're going to use all of this now to turn all of these chests into hoppers. Alright, well, I have all my materials put together and organized. I figured putting up signs and stuff would help to make the process of building this go a little smoother, and make it a little bit easier to find stuff. In a short moment, we are going to pop into a time lapse, because this is going to take me a while, and I just want to put my head down and stay focused on it. But afterwards, what I want to start working on is the exterior to this, and I have a sketch put together that we can take a look at later on after I get things built. But yeah, I guess it's time we pop into the time lapse. Alright, well, we are finally done with this. It is finally built. There is still quite a bit that we need to finish up here to get it working, like add a canal system to connect one side of the hallway to the other and connect the two hallways together as well. I do also need to add the things that we designed the last episode, like the shulker box input. We do need to get a floor in here, that way it's a little bit easier to walk around, and there's, various redstone things I still need to do, but yeah, the one thing that's going to take the longest is probably go through, add all the items to the filters, organize all the different items as well. And yeah, that's just going to take a while. So I'm going to do that in between episodes and stuff. But what I want to focus on the rest of the episode is working on the exterior face to the front side of the storage here. We're not going to be able to get the rest of the exterior done this episode. That just seems impossible. But we can probably try to get the face figured out. So here is the sketch that I put together for the factory. You can see I started sketching out like the bulk storage, that way I could get an idea of what we're going to build. And then I also extended the factory outwards towards the minimal storage and leftover packaging. We've also broken up Farms 1 and Farms 2 into two different sections with these walls kind of blocking off the two sections. So I've taken a screenshot of the storage area and I've overlaid the sketch of the bulk storage. The proportions are off here, but I think it gives you an idea of where the doorways will line up with the hallways. The tower will be down the center, and then we'll have some space up top, probably for redstone and anything we need to include there. I also wanted to show you guys the reference image that I'm using for this. So when I was looking for like a Mediterranean factory kind of look, I came across this image, and I think it looks pretty good. I don't know if it's necessarily a factory, but the size of this definitely gives off like a factory kind of vibe. So you can see I took this section here for the hallways and then the tower here, and so I've just taken the hallway and pasted it on both sides of the tower. And yeah, I've got materials put together. I don't think this will be enough, but it should definitely be able to get me something done here. So before we can get anything built, we need to start outlining things. And we do also need to make sure that we maintain enough space between the face of the building and the redstone here, because we still have things that we need to incorporate. So I'm thinking we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Is that enough? That should give us 5 blocks between the face here and the redstone here. That might be good. And then we should probably figure out the doorways. That might make sense. Ooh, where do we put the doorway? I guess if this is the face, the doorway would probably go here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think that the size of this door is pretty good. Yeah. So we do want like the stoop to probably come out a little bit. I think so. I've got the tower kind of in place here, but I think I need to figure out the gap between the tower and the doorway to the other side. All right, I think I've got something here for the outline. I did I did have a little bit of a scare. I thought maybe something was out of line. I thought the gap between the two walls here was 9 blocks. It's actually 8 blocks. And so I had to adjust the size of the doorway just a little bit. And then I don't know. Everything's adjusted correctly now. So we've got the 2 doorways. We've got the tower there. And I've added these little bits here to just give it a little bit more depth. There's an 8 block gap between the doorway and here, and an 8 block gap between the doorway and the tower there. So that should make it a little bit easier to get windows lined up, maybe some columns and stuff. But if we step back over here, I've got this little bit of scaffolding that I've been coming out to kind of look at this straight on. Yeah, I think the proportions are looking pretty good so far. Doorways could be a little big. I don't know yet. But what I think I'm going to do now is probably just kind of fill in the gaps, get the sandstone in, and then maybe try to incorporate some of this yellow terracotta just to kind of get an idea of what we're trying to do here. So it's looking pretty ugly right now, but I think we just have to trust the process. All right, so I think we are basically done blocking out the building over there. It's looking pretty good. And I do really like the fact that it kind of peeks out from behind some builds over here, but I think it has kind of finalized my decision on the warehouse. Been contemplating whether or not we should tear it down, maybe move it. I think that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna get a schematic of the warehouse at some point, and then I think what we'll do is maybe go out in the world, find an area that we can maybe consider a graveyard of retired builds and stuff. And then when we get to creating the facade around the canvas here, I think what we'll try to do is keep it short enough that way we can still see the storage over there just peeking out from behind the buildings. So I think what we're gonna start working on now is probably working in some of the details, the smaller details and stuff, trying to get this to look even cooler, look better. Yeah. So I don't really have a plan here, but I think we can just kind of start throwing things in, and maybe something will come to mind. You know what? That actually looks really good. I think I'm gonna try to incorporate or like add this everywhere else, and maybe it'll look even better. But yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I think this is starting to look pretty good. Now I do need to work on the shape of the doorway, and we have like these larger sections here. I think we need to start getting some depth incorporated into these sections, even here too. See, now I'm wondering if I should bring these sections down a little bit. Maybe line them up with these sections here. That way I can get this little bit here to line up with this bit. It might look a little bit nicer. I don't know, so far it's looking really good. I just have a few more details I want to throw in. Maybe some walls and fences along the top there. That might look really nice. Probably around here too. Yeah, looking pretty good. I'm gonna have to get some glass in there at some point. I do really like the light effect that we're getting at night. That's pretty cool. All right, so I think everything's looking pretty good. I do have quite a few details I want to get in there before we wrap up the episode, but I think I'm gonna work on that just kind of on my own, on camera and stuff. So I'm gonna try to wrap everything up, and yeah, we'll do that first. All right. Well, we are out of time for this episode. I would have liked to have gotten a little bit more done with the exterior here, but I think it's looking pretty good. We're definitely heading in the right direction with this. And yeah, I would have liked to maybe have gotten the dome done at the top there for the for the thumbnail, but oh well. The storage that we're trying to cover definitely took quite a bit of time, a lot longer than I thought it would. Uh, maybe a total of 6 days of collecting resources and getting it built. It just definitely took a lot longer than anticipated. But I think between episodes, I will try to at least wrap up the tech or wrap up the exterior over here. And I might even wrap around and just close up the sides and stuff. I do want to do a little bit of texturing to make this look a little dingier because this is part of a factory. It's got to look old and used and dirty. But before we get completely wrapped up here, I have a couple of bits of news. So I have put together a community Discord for the channel here. I should have a link maybe down in the description. You can definitely find it on my profile. And then Rotten Block Season 2 is starting on Saturday after this is released, February 7th. So I'm going to be taking a little break from the Deadlands for a while, just so I can focus on Rotten Block for a bit. I think we're all really excited to get Rotten Block started, so yeah, it should be really exciting, and at least for a month or two. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. I definitely managed to get quite a bit done, more than normal, I think. And if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.